OTF Jam. Have y'all seen that So OTF Jam is, and I guess we'll start here. By the way, welcome to the stream, people. I know it's a little bit late. It's a Sunday night. Some of you guys are preparing for early work on Monday. I do want to apologize a little bit because I do know some of you guys like to get a good night of sleep before work. But if you can't stay up with me, it's all good. Love. You'll be able to watch the rebroadcast or the clips later tomorrow. But if you can, rock out. Okay. So OTF Jam is the guy that has been long rumored as being supposedly one of the original cooperants against Durk. Now, we don't really have much details of this actually being true, but apparently, according to the streets, they're saying that based on certain things, and apparently, like, you know, if you know these people or you're in the inner circle, you could tell who's quote unquote telling or about to tell. Not only because you probably know what's in the discovery, and in the discovery they are going to point out the cooperants, but also apparently, like, you know, the family members and the people they used to tap in with him, he's been estranged from the gang. Now, his name is OTF Jam, but apparently OTF ain't been rocking with him. When Durk got locked, his name came up frequently. Even some of the members of OTF even posting some really, you know, disappointing things about him. Now, is he a cooperant? I don't know. However, and by the way, he's not even caught up in this particular case that Durk is arrested in. So he's not a co-conspirator from what we know, at least named. He's not, he's not charged. He's held on some other charges. Now, the reason why he's important is because Durk rapped about him, you know, a bunch of times. You know, Jam got, what's that lyric? Durk raps about OTF Jam. I forgot the lyric. It's like, what he said. No, I think it's Back Again. That's one of my favorite songs. I love this song. It said, Jam, get out that jam. I give him 50, ain't gotta ask again. Okay? When Jam get out that jam, I'll give him 50, ain't gotta ask again. So, you know, supposedly he had gotten locked up, and once he got out, Durk gave him 50,000. And that kind of goes into people saying, damn, how could you ever snitch on Durk later when you got locked up and you got out, Durk actually gave you some money. Anyway, he's still not like addressing the fact if he's telling or not, which is kind of almost signs that maybe he is telling, because, you know, chat, there's these things where people get accused of stuff. Remember when Meek Mill got accused of fucking Diddy? And he came online and he said a lot of shit, and not one time did he said, I didn't fuck Diddy. And you're like, bro, that's like the first question to answer. Like, you know, it's like Boston Richie too. Like Boston Richie, like, you know, well, I don't think this is the most important question, but some people are like, yo, did you get hit by the pegginator? You know what I mean? Were you getting pegged, bro? And he kind of answered everything, but he didn't give a straight answer like, no, I didn't get pegged. And it's one of those things where we're like, why not answer the obvious question? It's like OTF Jam now. It's like, Jam, we're all hearing that you're the snitch. You're telling us mad info we don't care about. Could you just confirm or deny you're the snitch? So we got to make up our own minds, but this guy won't answer the question directly. Anyway, whatever. So this guy supposedly is out now, and he dropped a location. He says 726 East 164 PH, place, South Holland, 30. This for and anybody else that feel they like that I'm doing something Sammy the Bull didn't do. Jesus Christ, these street niggas, they're confusing. So this is for anybody who feel like I'm doing something Sammy the Bull didn't do. I'm dropping my own location, fresh out house arrest. I'm trying to see who's trying to get it in. Blood. It was a whole lot of woofing when I was in jail. Now it's time to show. Now, didn't Sammy the Bull cooperate? He's like a notorious hitman from like the mafia, right? Yeah, so he snitched, right? This is Sammy the Bull.
It's actually an anonymous jury because they're so worried about jury tampering because it's happened so many times before. This is, I guess, you've never seen
So he confessed to 19 murders and snitched against John Gotti.
this in a Brooklyn federal case before. Like they're really kind of almost changing the rules in a way because of what happened before. The prosecutors begin playing the tapes, where Gotti's discussing Gambino business, all the murders he approved, talking about how he hated Castellano, so the motive to actually kill him. And then you actually get brought to trial on March 2nd. Here you are, where most of your life you're told, you should not cooperate. You take a blood oath, and, cooperators are getting killed for this type of thing. How hard was it to really say, okay, I'm actually going to cooperate and take the stand?
How hard was it? It was something that was against every principle in my life. Something I never even thought of doing. I've been arrested all my fucking life. And I faced cases that I've been offered that 100 times. Every time I was pinched. And I never did it.
You talking about snitching?
But I'll be goddamned if I'm going to turn around. If Cosa Nostra is that we kill each other, we do this, we do that, and then when we get pinched, you're going to throw me to the wolves, you want me to do the time, so you could hit the street. And I ain't doing it. I quit the mafia, I quit him, and I didn't give a fuck what happened to me. I would deal with it, whatever had to happen.
Well, when you took the stand, you confessed to 19 murders. And you implicated John Gotti in 4 of them.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if that's the true number, but go ahead.
Okay.
Damn.
Gotti's lawyers cross-examined you, called you a junkie, talked about the use steroids and everything else like that. But
so in this case, if we're trying to compare it to the Durk thing, OTF Jam is kind of saying he would be Sammy the Bull, and based on this post, he's like, this is the address for anyone who feel like I'm doing something Sammy the Bull didn't do. Right? So he's saying that he is cooperating, right? And not only is he cooperating, Sammy the Bull infamously cooperated against John Gotti. It appears that if he's comparing himself to Sammy the Bull, he's probably alluding to the fact, or alluding to Lil Durk being John Gotti. I don't know if you guys know, John Gotti was this infamous member of the mafia, whatever, that basically the police had a hard time pinning down and tying him to actual crimes. They needed people to try to implicate him by saying, hey, he told me to kill this person. So if he's using that reference, look like he's saying he's down to play the Sammy the Bull role. Says, feel like I'm doing something Sammy the Bull didn't do. I'm dropping my own location, fresh out. Wow. Am I reading this right, chat? Somebody said just like how Al Capone got bagged on taxes. That was the only way to get him, right? Yeah. Yeah, and some people in here know. Wow. So, chat, what do y'all think about that? I mean, I guess this is like admitting, like, yeah, I'm telling. What's the problem? And I guess he's looking at it like, you know what I've realized about this idea of snitching is that outside of like the Mexican cartels, where they'll literally, they still send messages with snitching. Like they'll kill someone's family and leave body parts or send somebody a finger to let them know that, yo, listen, you snitch, you break like this code that we have that is a crime code. We're going to torture you. We're going to torture your family. You're going against the code, right? It feels like in American culture, whether we're talking about the mob, the mafia, and even definitely like black street culture where like these guys are like, what's OTF? These guys are basically saying, and I think they've even learned from Alpo. I know Alpo got killed, but they said Alpo didn't get killed because of who he told on or even who he killed. They said Alpo got killed because he was fucking someone's girl. And that feud escalated into him dying. But basically they're saying that now, like you could tell, drop a location, and then he's ain't gonna do shit to you. So he dropped his location. He said he's fresh off house arrest. and he's trying to see who's trying to get it back in blood. He's challenging the streets. So he's saying he's on some Sammy the bullshit. Wow. Interesting. Now they're saying somebody named Goldmouth hopped in the mix after OTF Jam posts his location, and he's not feeling it. I don't know who this guy is, but let's check this out.
They got this dude right here named OTF Jam. First of all, you ain't no OTF no more, man. Like, you probably used to be a part of the family, but nigga, this the nigga that snitched on Lil Durk. They say the nigga is out of jail and on house arrest, right? The nigga had the audacity to post on motherfucking social media his whole address and location and talking about anybody that feel like they doing something or they want to do some shit to me, here go my location, pull up, nigga, I'm on that. Hold up, bro. Listen, man. Just to be clear, I'm talking about another snitch right now. I'm not talking about Lil Woody. But this nigga that snitched on Lil Durk, get out of jail, on house arrest, drop.
By the way, we're still unclear about how he snitched on Durk. Now, there are some unnamed co-conspirators on Durk's case. We don't know which one is Jam. Now, there's a shooter. There is a shooter that is named co-conspirator 4. No, not 4. 2, sorry. 2. 4 is the guy who gave the low, but he's a rolling 60 Crip. Co-conspirator 2 is a shooter, but I don't think that's not Jam. It can't be. You know why it can't be? It can't be Jam because you would never give the shooter bail. At the end of the day, the shooter killed someone. You would never give them bail. So that couldn't be Jam. All right, let's go back to the indictment real quick. Because we keep hearing that Jam is a snitch. And there's nothing that names him in the case, even though people that are associated with OTF, they keep saying that. By the way, the case is kind of like stalled out. The order about continuing the case, I'll tell you when it is. The trial date now is August 20th. Okay, August 20th. So Durk is scheduled to go on trial like in less than 3 months. Or in less than 4 months, actually. I do want to go back to, let's see if we can find the superseding indictment. There was a few indictments here. The reason why they did superseding indictments, some of the info was wrong that they presented to the grand jury, so they had to go back again and get it. Hold on. All right, we'll just use this. OTF, all right. We'll just use superseding 1. And all we got to look at is co-conspirator. Okay. So co-conspirator 2 to 5 were members and associates of OTF. Remember, 4 is a rolling 60 Crip. He just gave the location. 2 is the guy who was in the shooting. So that's the guy who's he's definitely locked up. He's telling though, but he's locked up. And he wouldn't get out. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, he killed someone. Like, why, even if he's snitching, they're not going to let you out on bail, right? Let's see if we could see a little bit more. So, co-conspirator 2 travel, blah, blah, right? He traveled from Chicago to there. They use, he was in the vehicle that was hopped out by these people, okay? Well, no, actually, no. He was one of the shooters, but there was 2 vehicles. Let me try to, okay. So co-conspirator 2, so here we go. These are the people who I think they claimed did the shooting. Co-conspirator 2 and these other 3. Okay, co-conspirator 3 is the person who purchased the airplane ticket. So this is like some assistant. This person was never on the scene. So 2 is the shooter, 3 is an assistant. Look at OTF Jam. OTF Jam looked like he's dumb as a box of rocks. You feel me? Like, this guy doesn't look like, you know what I mean? This guy doesn't look like there's much going on up here. Cool. Like, it doesn't look like much going up here. I don't think this is the guy. You don't when Jam get out that jam, you give him 50. You don't call that guy to book flights. This is not the book and flight guy. Okay, so we could safely say we don't think he's the shooter because he wouldn't get out. He's not co-conspirator 3 because he doesn't book flights. Let's keep it going. Who's co-conspirator 4? Now, we already got that. Co-conspirator 4 dropped the low. Look, we're gonna find it. So co-conspirator 3 bought the airplane tickets. Let's go to co-conspirator 4. Here we go. Sorry. Let's go to. Oh, and by the way, here we go. Following the killing, it was told that Durk was gonna pay 2, 4, and 5. Remember, 3 is a flight booker. So they didn't know that they're booking flights, or possibly didn't know they're booking flights for murder. 2 is the killer or the shooter. 4 is the guy who gave the drop. So look, here we go. Co-conspirator 4. Oh, yeah, I can't see. Sorry. Co-conspirator 4 learned that Taekwon Bowman, Kwando, was visiting California and staying at a hotel, so he gave the drop. So we know co-conspirator 4. So we know the co-conspirators here are the snitches, right? That's why they're not being named. So 2, the shooter, but he's telling. 3, he's cooperating, but he's probably cooperating that he doesn't get a murder charge. And whoever this person could even be a woman. Oh, I just booked flights. I didn't know what's going on. All right, you're a co-conspirator 3 because you're going to testify to that, even if you don't know nothing about the murder. Co-conspirator 4 is the person who dropped the low. Okay, now I would believe this person is also telling. But we're not sure. But we would think they're telling because they're not named, right? And then co-conspirator 5, let's see who that is. Okay, on August, Banks and co-conspirator at 5 asks 2 to go to California. So 5 is somebody who is helping Didi book or recruit the killers. So who's 5? Maybe 5 is Jam. 5 could be Jam. If it's any of the co-conspirators here, 5 would be Jam. Okay? He's not a shooter, but he helped orchestrate all of this. Now, still, I would be shocked if he was let out of jail regardless, even if he wasn't on the scene, didn't fire the bullets, because this is really a very serious crime. I'm trying to look where 5 is mentioned again. Yeah, okay, so we're back to, so he could be 5 or somebody else. But anyway, OTF Jam is literally saying that, yo, he's ready for smoke and we're going to see what's up. Anyway, let me keep playing what this guy's saying.
His location and tell everybody, if you got smoke, you want smoke, pull up. First of all, bitch ass nigga, check this out, Jam. Because you ain't no OTF, nigga. You told because you didn't want to be in jail. You was trying to tell yourself out of a jam that you was in. So why would you come to the internet, my nigga, acting like you really want to commit a crime? Bitch, don't you know that crime places niggas in jail? You told to prevent yourself from going to jail for a crime that you committed. So now you get out of jail trying to act like you tough and you hard. You want to drop your location after you done told on him, man. You done got Lil Durk put in motherfucking jail, taken away from his family, taken away from his fans, from his loved ones, a whole motherfucking man with kids incarcerated. And you want to get out of jail and brag like you a motherfucking gangster, knowing you told on Lil Durk, tried to set the man up so you can motherfucking get relieved of whatever other crimes you was accused of. So why the fuck these snitching ass niggas get out here and try to act like they motherfucking hard, like they gangsters, like they motherfucking want to commit crimes, like they want to be in jail? Criminals are in jail. You don't want to be in jail.
I beg to differ. From this young man. When will the streets finally accept that cooperating is part of it? You know, this idea that there's these codes and everybody follows the codes, it's not how anything works. You get what I'm saying? Like, people go over the speed limit. People break the law. When they say form an orderly line, people cut the line. I don't know why street dudes act like snitching is not part of the streets. That's exactly part of the streets. By the way, here's the thing. if you don't do crime, you have no opportunity to snitch. Right? You know, I've always said, like, yo, I like when rappers claim that other rappers are snitches, yet they've never been ever charged with anything or put in a position to tell. Technically, I've never told on nobody. Why? I've never gotten a chance to. You know, I'm a willing participant. I want to tell. I got a lot of shit to say, but I never really got the chance. I never got a chance to sit up on the stand and point that nigga. He right there, y'all. Right there. Right there. Yo, Johnny, what up, nigga? Right there. Yo, D Monique. Yeah, it's you. Yeah, of course. But so the idea of like telling is part of the streets. I don't know why these guys act like, yo, this is like, no, it's part of what y'all do.
That's the reason why you motherfucking told in the first place. So, man, y'all niggas that be snitching on niggas, man, stop acting like y'all niggas own that and living like that and want to crash out, bitch. Because if you wanted to crash out, bitch, you would have never told in the first place.
This is where I disagree. Alpo has set the trend. 6ix9ine has set the trend. Here's the thing: don't get in front of a camera and make a video, or do what these other rappers do, get on Clubhouse or whatever and be like, man, he snitched. Do something about it. That's what these niggas is trying to tell you. If y'all so street, these niggas is telling y'all, they telling on y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's kind of coming off to me like the snitches are the biggest gangsters, because the street niggas, every time when the snitches tell them, all right, so what I told, do something, the street niggas they tell and be like, man, you told, I can't do nothing anyway. So basically, it's like it's a cloak of protection.
You can stand jail if jail don't bother you. If you don't give a fuck about laying down in prison for the rest of your life, you would have never told. So stop getting out here acting like y'all motherfuckers still gangsters after you done told on niggas, man. That shit ain't cool. Either you gonna be a motherfucking snitch or you gonna be a motherfucking gangster, man. Snitches ain't gangsters, man. Straight up.
Okay. Anyway. We'll see what ends up happening with that. I want to know what info he does have. I really want to know what info he does have. Hernandez Govan spoke on this as well.
Hey, this message for the OTF jam. Hey, bro, you got to have a strong ass stomach to be able to look yourself in the mirror after what you did to your brother. Smirk, a.k.a. Lil Durk. Then you jump on Instagram and drop your low, which I think is a fake low. Drop your low and talking tough with your chest out like you done did some commendable shit. You put the in jail. They gave you $50,000 when you got out, helped you get a crib, car, and took care of your people while you was gone. Man, friends like you, man, don't need no enemies, boy. Boy, you a dirty, rotten to the core,